My name is Afis. I've been a bartender for many, many years, and today we're going to be talking about the classic Manhattan cocktail. All right, let's get started. Today we're going to be talking about the popular classic cocktail, the Manhattan. Just like many classic cocktails, it is very unclear of its origins, but the most popular rumor going around is that it was invented in the early 1800s at the Manhattan Club in New York. It is also rumored that it was being handed out at Ellis Island as people came off the boat, welcoming them to America. Today, we're going to be making 3 versions of this cocktail. We are going to be making the original 1884 recipe, which is illustrated in the book Imbibe by David Wondrich. If anyone wants to become a professional bartender, I highly recommend that you read this book, or even if you're just a cocktail enthusiast, it's a great book to read. The next one that we will be making is the modern 2-to-1 ratio. So if you go to your local bar or your local restaurant today, this is the one that you will most likely end up with. And lastly, we're going to be making the one that I would make for myself at home if I was to have a cocktail today. Let's get started. We're going to start with the original 1884 Manhattan, which is illustrated in the book Imbibe. So I'm going to grab my mixing glass, and I'm going to start by adding 2 dashes of orange bitters. Today I'm going to be using Scrappy's orange bitters. So it's going to be 2 dashes if you're using the original bottle, or 4 dashes if you are using a more precise dasher bottle. Perfect. Then we're going to follow up by using 2 dashes of gum arabica, or that equals out to roughly half a teaspoon. We will follow up by using 1.5 ounces of 100 proof rye. So it just says 100 proof rye in the book. So today I'm going to be using 291 small batch Colorado rye. Next, we will be using Cocchi di Torino sweet vermouth. I'm going to be adding 1.5 ounces. The book does call for Formula Antica, but today I'm going to be using Cocchi di Torino because that's what I have available to me. Now I'm going to add some ice to my mixing glass. And then I'm going to stir it for roughly 30 seconds. Perfect. Now I will be pouring it into a nicely chilled, fancy cocktail glass. Now, the book doesn't call for a garnish, so we will be serving it straight up just like this. Alright, so now we're going to be making the modern 2-to-1 Manhattan. So if you were to go to your local bar or restaurant today, this is most likely where you're going to be getting, or at least a version of it. So we're going to start by grabbing our mixing glass, and we're going to be using 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. So it's going to be 2 dashes from the original bottle, or 4 dashes from the more precise dasher bottle. Then I'm gonna add 2 ounces of rye whiskey. Today I'm gonna be using Bulleit. Then I'm gonna follow with 1 ounce of a sweet vermouth. And once again, I will be using Cocchi di Torino. I'm going to add some ice to this. And once again, I'm going to stir it for roughly 30 seconds. Very nice. Now I'm going to pour it into a chilled coupe or martini glass. I'm going to be using a coupe glass today because that's what I have available to me. And lastly, I am going to garnish it with a maraschino brandied cherry. Or sorry, a maraschino cherry. And there we are. We have the modern 2-to-1 Manhattan. And finally, we're gonna finish off by making the Manhattan that I would drink at home. So we're gonna start off by grabbing a mixing glass, or a shaker tin. And I'm gonna add 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, or 4 dashes from a dasher bottle. Then we're gonna add 1 dash of black walnut bitters. I like to use Fee Brothers, and I'm gonna be adding 2 dashes from the dasher bottle. There we go. I'm gonna be using 291 small batch Colorado rye, 100 proof, so I'm gonna add 1 ounce of that. Then I will add 1 ounce of my Park maple rye. Which is local to me here in Canada, and it is a phenomenal product. It sweetens up my cocktail quite nicely. 1 ounce of Cocchi di Torino, sweet vermouth. I'm gonna add some ice to my tin. And then I'm gonna aerate this cocktail. I know I scared you all. You all thought I was gonna shake it. But I like to aerate it because it helps me control my dilution, and I add a little bit more air into the cocktail. Now I'm going to pour it into a nicely chilled Nick and Nora glass. And I'm going to once again garnish it with a nice maraschino cherry. And that's the Manhattan I would drink at home. And here we have all 3 cocktails. So I have the original 1884 Manhattan, the modern 2-to-1 ratio, and the one that I would be making for myself. So Let's try them. Start with the original. It's quite nice. It's a little unbalanced in my opinion. It's a little sweeter than I expected. Yeah, classic Manhattan that you would get today. I mean, they're all beautiful cocktails. Obviously, the one that I'm going to enjoy the most is the one that I customize to my own palate. I like my Manhattans to be a little bit sweeter, whether that's by adding a little bit of cherry juice into the drink or adding a maple rye to it. So obviously, you know, this one's going to be my favorite. But out of these two, I got to say the Modern 2-to-1 is the one that I would prefer. It is a little bit sweeter for my palate. But yeah. Anyways, guys, I hope that you liked my video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.